Welcome to Malawi, the warm heart of Africa. The land is beautiful, but the politics, well, they're interesting. Today we're looking at Malawi's presidents. Now I know what you're thinking. Presidents, boring. But trust me, this isn't your typical history class. We're talking about the leaders who shaped Malawi since it became independent. It's a story with lots of twists and turns, good times and bad times, and maybe even some scandals. From strict rule to democracy, good farming to money problems, we're covering it all. So get ready to learn and try not to laugh too much, at least not when we talk about the dictators. First we have Hastings Kamuzu Banda, the very first president of Malawi. He led the country to independence in 1964. That's a big deal, right? Independence is great, but Banda had a different way of leading. Imagine a school principal who's also the president. He ruled strictly, no arguing allowed. It was like trying to argue with your grandma about her cooking, but if she could send you to jail for wanting more salt. And the man loved suits. Seriously, he had tons of them. It's like he bought a whole suit store. But it wasn't all bad. Banda built roads, schools and hospitals. He knew farming was important so Malawi could grow its own food. Good job there. But the bad things he did, yeah, those are remembered too. It's like he had good ideas but did them the wrong way. Banda's time as president was a mix of good and bad, which happens a lot in Africa. Next is Bakili Muluzi, the man who brought democracy to Malawi. After years of one-man rule, Muluzi said, "Let's try voting," and people liked it. No more being ruled by a guy who dressed like he was always going to a fancy party. Muluzi was all about freedom, freedom of the press, freedom of speech, all the freedoms Banda didn't like. But freedom doesn't solve everything. Malawi had money problems under Muluzi. Remember those roads and schools Banda built? They're expensive to keep up. And then there were rumors about corruption, like stealing money. Look, I'm not saying Muluzi was perfect, but he tried to make Malawi more democratic. Bingu wa Mutharika loved farming. He probably could make a plant grow just by looking at it. Farming in Malawi did great when he was president. He even gave farmers free fertilizer. It makes you wonder why nobody thought of that before, but it wasn't perfect. Mutharika, like Banda, didn't like people disagreeing with him. He wasn't very nice to people who criticized him. Still, Malawi's economy grew some, and he kept building things. Whether you liked him or not, he knew about farming. Joyce Banda, the first woman president of Malawi. She became president after Bingu wa Mutharika died. She had lots of problems to deal with right away. A bad economy, a big scandal called Cashgate, and fixing things after Mutharika. But Banda wasn't scared. She changed the value of Malawi's money, made friends with other countries, and fought for women's rights. She was like the aunt who fixes your problems and gives you good advice. Her time as president wasn't long, but she made a difference. She showed that women could lead Malawi and handle problems well. Then came Peter Mutharika, Bingu wa Mutharika's brother. He wanted to continue what his brother did, but hopefully with less fertilizer and fewer accusations of being bossy. Did he do it? It depends on who you ask. He built some things and made changes to schools, but there were also rumors of corruption and cheating in elections. It seems like every Malawian president has some rumors around them, but at least things stayed interesting. Mutharika's time was a mix of good and bad. Now, we have Lazarus Chakwera, the current president. People had high hopes for him. They were tired of corruption and wanted change. Chakwera promised that change, less corruption, better healthcare and a better economy. It's a big job, but that's what presidents do, right? It's still early, but Chakwera's done some big things, like firing corrupt officials. Will he succeed? We'll see. But Malawi's story isn't over. There will be more ups and downs. So that's the story of Malawi's presidents. From the strict first leader to the new one, it's a story of good things and bad things, of hope and disappointment. Malawi, like many countries, is still growing. It has a rich history, interesting culture, and lots of potential. Maybe one day we'll talk about a Malawian president who changed everything. But until then, we'll keep watching, we'll keep laughing, because sometimes you have to. And we'll keep hoping for a good future for Malawi. Thanks for learning about Malawi's presidents. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe for more videos about politics around the world.